Dintersmith, and I spent my career in the world of innovation and technology, mostly as a venture capitalist. And so I was really lucky and fortunate to work with some of the world's best entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things to make the world better. It was just a really wonderful career with one dark side, and that is that over time I realized that many of these great advances were going to be eliminating lots and lots of jobs. And so each morning, lots of the most talented people in our country, in the world, wake up passionately pursuing something that over time will put millions of people out of work. And so when I observed that, when I realized that, I began to get really interested in how kids were being prepared through school to deal with a world that is dynamic and innovative and fast changing, a world that rewards creativity and innovation and boldness. And when I looked at what was going on in schools, I came to the stunning realization that they actually were eliminating the very characteristics kids need. And at first I thought it was accidental, that it was just one of those unfortunate things that no one was paying attention to. And as I started to look into the history of school, I realized that schools are actually designed to eliminate innovation and creativity from kids, and that the school model we use today goes back to 1893. So with that realization, I suddenly had a hard time sleeping at night and felt like I had an obligation to do something about it. And as a venture guy, I felt like I needed to do something consistent with the venture model, something innovative, something creative, something that was cost effective, and that had some potential of having a big impact, despite a lot of risk. And so I set out on a path to produce a movie, which we've done and is now out. It premiered at Sundance in 2015, called Most Likely to Succeed. I collaborated with somebody named Tony Wagner. We have a book coming out in August on the same topic, with the same title, in fact, Most Likely to Succeed. And the real focus is, should our schools be teaching kids things that are easy to test, or should our schools be teaching kids things that are important for life? And I think when you really look hard at the schools, you find that even though we've upped the intensity level, even though we're making kids work harder and harder on things, even though every spare minute of their life is pre-programmed and kids are going through the motions, furiously trying to build the perfect college resume or complete worksheets to get a high school degree or to get their GED, they're not learning anything. And they're not inspired, and they're not engaged, and they're not motivated. And so I'm now no longer a venture capitalist, and I view myself as a change agent. And I am fighting every single day to help the futures of millions of kids, because I can see the tsunami coming. I can see all these jobs disappearing. And I feel like in one scenario, it could be the best of all worlds for our kids. If the same characteristics every 5-year-old has can be preserved or even enhanced through the school years, that curiosity, that boldness, that inquisitiveness, that willingness to take chances, the ability to be incredibly creative and innovative, if we can preserve that, the 21st century will be a glorious time for our kids in our country. But if we continue to insist on educating our kids, and I use educate in quotes, if we school the creativity and boldness and innovation out of them, we are headed toward a future with a country that will have tens of millions of chronically unemployed young Americans. And what we've seen in the last few years in Egypt, what we've seen in Baltimore, what we've seen in places where the growing divide between the rich and the rest becomes so daunting that civil society can't hold together, there will be no winners in this. And so, as I said, I'm throwing my body, I'm throwing my mind, I'm throwing some of my personal capital at this, and I'm going to do everything I can to give every kid in our country a fighting chance going forward and to take advantage of all the great breakthroughs and innovations that are out there.